They say that glass, once broken, can never be the same, but no one talks about the hands of those who try to pick up the shards. For a long time, I was that person, trying not to bleed while gathering the pieces of my own life. My name is Isabela. Before I was the woman you see today on magazine covers, I was invisible. I remember that night of acid rain. I had $20 in my wallet and a resume that no one wanted to read. I was sleeping in a shelter, listening to the sound of strangers coughing, praying that tomorrow wouldn't come. When I got the call to work at the Winchester Mansion, I didn't feel hope. I felt fear. The fear of someone who knows they are making a deal with the devil, because hunger doesn't allow for choices. The mansion sat at the top of a hill, shrouded in a mist that seemed never to dissipate. The iron gates were spears pointed at the sky. I entered through that service door with my head down, ready to be nobody. I just didn't know that by cleaning the marble of that house, I would end up discovering the secrets that would make me the owner of every brick in that place. Clarissa Winchester was not just my boss. She was a force of nature, cold, calculating, and lethal. At our first meeting, she didn't greet me. She just pointed to a floor with her designer shoe. "Isabela," she said, and the sound of my name in her mouth sounded like an insult. "Here, silence is your only virtue. You are the ghost that cleans my mess. If I find a single hair out of place, you go back to the gutter where you came from." The following months were an engineered nightmare. Clarissa took pleasure in humiliating me. She would spill red wine on white carpets just to watch me scrub until my fingertips bled. She woke me up at 4 a.m. to polish chandeliers that already sparkled, just to keep me exhausted. Her husband, Victor, was a shadow, a man who smelled of whiskey and secrets, who looked through me as if I were made of transparent glass. But I began to notice the cracks. The luxury was a facade. Behind the oak doors, I heard the screams. I saw the collection notices hidden in the trash. They were going bankrupt, and Clarissa's plan was sinister. She was stealing from her own son's company, Felipe, to maintain that theater of wealth. Everything changed when Felipe returned from London. He was the opposite of his parents. He had deep eyes that seemed to carry the weight of the world. On the first night, he found me in the kitchen, trying to treat a cut on my hand from a plate Clarissa had broken. He didn't pull away. He grabbed the first aid kit and said, "Let me help." I tried to back away, remembering Clarissa's orders, but he held my hand firmly and gently. "No one in this house should be treated like an object, Isabela, especially someone with eyes as full of courage as yours." Felipe began to seek me out in my spare time. He brought books of poetry, told me about his dreams of building something real, away from the toxicity of that family. For the first time in years, I wasn't the maid. I was Isabela. We fell in love in the silence of the library, between whispers and the promise of a future that seemed impossible. But Clarissa was watching. She saw one of our meetings, and the hatred in her gaze promised destruction. Curiosity was my salvation. While cleaning Clarissa's secret office, I found a fake safe behind a painting. Inside it, a diary. It wasn't a diary of feelings, it was a ledger of betrayal. Clarissa detailed every penny she had stolen from Felipe. She planned to commit Victor to a psychiatric clinic and accuse Felipe of mismanagement, keeping the entire empire for herself. And me? I would be the perfect scapegoat for any crime she needed to cover up. Her plan manifested on the night of the grand winter ball. The mansion was filled with diamonds and champagne. Clarissa appeared in the middle of the ballroom, interrupting the music. "Stop everything," she cried, with an expression of false anguish. "My family heirloom, the Queen's emerald necklace, is missing, and I know exactly who took it." She dragged me to the center of the room and pointed to my service quarters. "The police have already found the necklace in this miserable girl's drawer. I tried to give a beggar a chance, and look how she pays me." The guest looked at me with disgust. The officers approached with handcuffs. But I looked at Felipe. He wasn't surprised. He was ready. "Wait!" Felipe's voice cut through the air like thunder. He walked to the center of the hall and handed a tablet to the police officer. The necklace wasn't stolen. It was planted by my mother to hide the fact that she embezzled $50 million from my companies. The silence was absolute. I took off my dirty apron, revealing a simple but elegant black dress that Felipe had given me hours before. I walked up to Clarissa, who was trembling with rage. "You thought I was just the floor you walked on," I said, my voice firm and clear for everyone to hear. "But you forgot that the person who cleans the house knows every secret hidden under the rug." Clarissa was led away in handcuffs under the glow of the same chandelier she had forced me to polish. Victor was sent to rehab. Felipe and I took over what was left and rebuilt everything on truth, not on the blood of others. Today, I walk through the front door of that mansion. I am no longer the shadow. I am the light.
I married Felipe in a ceremony that didn't seek ostentation, but peace. I turned the mansion into an institute for women who, like me, were broken by life, but who still hold the glow of the ashes. Never underestimate the woman who cleans your house. She has seen your weaknesses, she knows your lies, and if you're not careful, she will be the one to write the final chapter of your story. I am Isabela Winchester, and this is just my beginning.